6,000 years ago, something happened on the grasslands of Central Asia that would change the course of human history forever. Not a war, not a discovery, not an invention. An animal. Let a human touch it. And from that single moment, that first cautious contact between a human hand and a wild horse, empires rose, trade routes stretched across continents, armies conquered the known world, and the map of human civilization was redrawn forever. This is the story of how one animal accidentally built everything. For most of human history, we were slow. A person walking could cover perhaps 25 miles in a day. That was it. That was the limit of human reach. Your world was defined entirely by how far your legs could carry you. Trade happened in small circles. Messages took weeks. Armies moved at the pace of a march. And empires, real empires, governing millions of people across vast distances, were essentially impossible. Think about what that means. Every ancient civilization you've ever heard of, Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, they all existed in relative isolation from each other, connected by slow, dangerous trade routes that took months to traverse. The ancient world was enormous, and humans were tiny within it. Then, somewhere on the Pontic-Caspian steppe, the vast grasslands stretching from modern Ukraine to Kazakhstan, something changed. Humans had known about horses for thousands of years before they domesticated them. They hunted them for meat. To early humans, a horse wasn't a companion or a vehicle. It was dinner. Around 3,500 BCE, somewhere on the Pontic steppe, a group of people from the Botai culture did something no human had done before. They didn't just hunt horses, they kept them. At first, probably for milk, for meat that didn't require a hunt, a practical decision, an economic one. Nobody was thinking about empires. Nobody had any idea what they had just set in motion. What happened next unfolded over centuries, but in historical terms, it was almost instantaneous. The moment humans learned to ride, not just keep horses, but sit on them and direct them, the world changed at a speed it had never experienced before. A person on foot moves at 3 miles per hour. A person on horseback moves at 10 to 15. Suddenly, the world was 3 to 5 times smaller. Distances that took weeks to cross now took days. Messages that took months arrived in weeks. And armies that had been slow, became fast, mobile, and devastating. Every civilization that mastered the horse gained an almost supernatural advantage over those that hadn't. The Indo-Europeans, the people who first truly mastered horseback riding, spread their culture, their language, and their genes across an area stretching from Ireland to India. Today, more than 3 billion people speak languages descended from theirs. 3 billion people. Because of one animal. Let's be specific, because the numbers here are almost impossible to believe. Alexander the Great conquered an empire stretching from Greece to India in just 13 years. His secret weapon wasn't tactics, it was the companion cavalry, the finest horse-mounted fighting force the ancient world had ever seen. Genghis Khan built the largest contiguous land empire in human history. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered 24 million square kilometers, roughly a quarter of the Earth's total land area. It was built almost entirely on horseback. And then there is perhaps the most dramatic example of all. When Hernán Cortés landed in Mexico in 1519, the Aztec Empire had never seen a horse, not once, in their entire history. Within 2 years, one of the most powerful civilizations in the Americas had collapsed. Here's what strikes me most about this story. Nobody planned any of it. The Botai people who first domesticated horses didn't sit down and say, let's build the foundation for every major empire in the next 5,000 years. They were trying to solve a simple, practical problem. The horse didn't choose to reshape civilization. It just stood still long enough to be caught. And yet, from that accidental beginning came languages, empires, trade, religion, disease, conquest, and culture that shaped every person alive today. Every language you speak, every border on every map, every empire that rose and fell. The horse's fingerprints are on all of it. The last truly wild horses, the Przewalski's horse, nearly went extinct in the 20th century. We brought them back from the brink through conservation efforts. After everything the horse gave us, the least we could do was return the favor. And so I'll leave you with this question. One I genuinely don't know the answer to. If the Botai people hadn't domesticated the horse, if that first contact had never happened, where would we be right now? Would civilization have found another path? Or is everything you see around you, every city, every road, every nation, built on the back of one animal that just happened to stand still? Think about that. The next time you pass a horse,